All right, guys, welcome to another post-race wrap-up. Today we're talking with the 1,600 guys, the first through third from the 2024 Battle at Primm. In the third place, we have Kevin Alcala. Kevin, welcome. Second place, Fernie Padilla. Fernie, welcome. And our Battle at Primm winner, Mike Malloy. Mike, welcome. Also joining us is our SNORE president, John Pellessier. John, welcome. And always, we have Brian Johnson helping me out. Brian, welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Well, first off, let's start. Congratulations to you guys, all three of you. Arguably the closest racing that Battle at Primm has seen in a few years, I would say. Definitely I wasn't there, but the videos I saw, you know, Mike and Fernie playing bumper cars, Kevin racing with Bud and Chris Boyer. Congratulations to you guys, man. What great racing, super, super competitive. Just a testament to not only you guys in your programs, but where the class is as a whole. So great job. Congratulations. And thanks for jumping on with us.
Yeah, I have to echo the same sentiments. It's the class of classes I believe in. I don't like to disrespect other classes, but you see more people step up and go into truck classes out of 1,600 or bigger stuff from 1,600 than most. And as busy as I am throughout the weekend of a race, on Sunday, I made sure to take the time to go sit out and watch. And that's where I was able to, you guys saw some of the video I posted of the first three laps, because it was just some epic racing. I mean, what you guys were putting on for people. And I wanted to make sure that even though I can only show that one little area at the end of the lap, but I just wanted to make sure that other people had an opportunity to see the talent that comes out to the desert and more, to SNORE. And like I say, again, thank you guys for coming, expending your time and energy and money to race with us. We can't thank you enough.
Absolutely.
So let's jump right in. Let's start with qualifying. Kevin, how did your qualifying run go?
It was good. It was good. It was my first Battle at Primm, so I qualified at fourth place. I think top 5 is a perfect position if you went to win the race. So I was good with that.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. I think anytime you can get into the top 5 with like these guys that are here with us today, and Bud, Kurt, Chris Boyer, Jay Shane. Yeah. Anytime you qualify in the top 5, it's a good way to start the weekend. Fernie, what about your qualifying run? Any issues?
Well, I never qualify well. I don't know. I always want to beat Mike and Bud. It's impossible. And so I try. I go as fast as I can, and then I'm always top 5, which I appreciate it. But I mean, I'm never that one position. Mike Rob walked away with that, and it pissed me off. Like, man, Mike, stop it! you're a badass dude. Just calm down.
Yeah.
And I had fun. I never qualify well. If I had a choice, I go back to drawing for starting positions, because I never do well in qualifying. I don't know. Man,
Don't say
not
it.
ready yet.
Don't
I'm
put
not
it
ready
into
yet.
existence, Fernie. Don't put the draw back into existence. All right.
I'm not ready yet. That's what I can say. Is I guess qualifying days. I'm not ready yet. Give me one more day, and I'll be ready. I'll be ready tomorrow.
Mike, how was your qualifying run?
Good. No issues. Anytime I qualify, I always feel like I probably could have pushed a little harder, here and there. That's just how I always feel whenever I'm done. My wife always asks me the same thing. She's like, how'd it go? And, I always say, it's pretty smooth, but I probably could have pushed a little harder. This one, the result was, obviously what we wanted it to be. So it went smooth and good to still have all 4 tires on it and be ready for Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that I don't know about you guys, but that pole position, being able to start up front by yourself, that's a pretty big advantage, in the sense that right away you don't have anybody trying to take your line. There's no dust, there's no mud you really got to deal with. So that's a big advantage if you can get it. And I think also too, it's a psychological advantage where you know the guys behind you are going to be chopping it up with each other while you're ideally just putting in clean lines and running away with it. You know, so Mike, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, does that kind of go into your thought process? Do you think about it at all? When you're up front, do you think about the guys behind you?
You know, I don't. I just try to stay focused, you know, and hit my marks. You know, so the fact that we qualified on the pole, you know, was nice, and to really start with yourself. The one thing that I worry with Battle of Primm, and this was no exception, and I think it kind of played out even on Sunday, is how much water is on the track. So really being the first car, you know, on the track, right? Whenever you see any kind of turn or straightaway, you know, it in some ways, I still, you know, you still attack it the same way, but you're really looking to make sure there isn't enough water on the track to where you potentially could hydroplane, where it's going to slide you into the turn. That is the only thing that I ever think of, you know, from a negative standpoint, right? Or from a cautious standpoint, just starting first off the line, because no one's moved any water yet.
Yeah.
And I think that on Saturday, the track was wet, you know, but Sunday it was really, really wet. And we still started on the front row, you know, but it was on the inside. And I got out, you know, in front, and it was significantly more wet on Sunday than it was on Saturday.
Yeah. Now, Fernie, obviously you said you don't qualify well. You know, when you see the pole sitter up there starting alone, what's the mentality?
It's fun, I guess. That's all I can say is, I mean, it's the same guys mostly. It's the fast guys and that qualify well. And it's I appreciate them because these guys are just, they're clean racers. We got Mike and Bud, and obviously Kevin worked his way up, and it's just, they're clean guys. It's just, you don't want to see someone that you never heard of and that qualifies in front of you, because you don't know how they're gonna race you. If they race you clean or dirty. But I race because I love it, and it just, we'll see what happens. And I try to catch the guys in front of me, and Mike's the man. And obviously I think everyone is trying to beat Bud at Battle Primm and Rage of the River, because he's just the man at those races. But it's a fun race, and I just trying to keep up with these guys, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's good. It's interesting to see that between the two of you guys who have been at the top of the class for quite some time now. You know, I don't think about, you know, I just go out and race and do my thing. You know, I think that's something for me. I'm still consider myself somewhat of an apprentice in the classes. I play head games with myself, and I don't know what that is. Maybe if I start winning a few more, it won't happen. But yeah, oh man, he's fast. Look at that guy. Oh, there goes Fernie. Oh, he's so, you know, so it's always funny. Kevin, I know you're still kind of new to the class. You know, obviously your family's been racing for some time. Do you ever get nervous when you're lining up against these legends?
Yeah. As I say, it was my first battle at Primm, so running in the top 5 with those guys, it's very exciting. But at the same time, I was nervous. But just stay focused and do what I like to do.
Well,
Yeah.
You definitely held your own. You definitely held your own up there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Kevin, you looked like you belong right up with those guys.
Yeah,
I agree.
And with Kevin, I mean, he's only raced a handful of times, you know, even in that car, you know, and to come out at Battle of Primm, and one thing I'm sure he'll talk about, right? I won't necessarily steal his thunder, but he's running with a high comp too, you know, which is a little bit different platform. I'm a big fan of that, you know. So Kevin really coming out swinging for the fences and getting on the podium, you know, says a lot, not only for his capabilities, but I think a lot for his future, right? So at the end of the day, right, not to age myself, but you could tell I got a few more years on Kevin, right? You know, so at the end of the day, right, that's the future, you know, of 1600, you know, and someone who's going to be, you know, really on these interviews and on the podium a lot more. So, I mean, he did a fantastic job.
Yeah,
I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah, 4th place both days. Did a great job, real consistent.
Absolutely.
He did great.
Let's talk about the race on Saturday. You know, I mean, let's start with Kevin. Saturday, how was the race on the first day? Who did you race against? Did you have any issues?
Saturday, it was a clean day. I start with Chris Boyer. Beside, first lap, it was a clean one. At third lap, I look in my rear, in my rear wing, and I was Fernie Padilla. So, oh man, he touched my bump, and I go out, and he passed me. Then I pass him. Then he passed me another time. So I think he's running faster than me. So bye bye. Yeah. On the fourth lap, it was bad war with a rollover. So Saturday it was clean. I was feeling my car, feeling the corner, every corner. Oh, so yeah, it was a clean day. Any issues, any problem? It was good.
Good. And so Fernie, yeah, let's talk about your Saturday. How was it? I know you had Tucker Conroy riding with you.
Yes, you don't realize it. Two-seat cars, man. I'm as light as I think I can possibly be, and you get Tucker. He told me he's 118 pounds, and he's the lightest dude that's ever been in my car. And it was beneficial, man. It was a huge advantage. I felt it. I felt it in the car, and I mean, I never qualify well. And Tucker hopped in the car. I hopped in, and I was like, sorry, man, I suck, I guess. And then we start the race, and it was just, the car was just on fire, man. My car cornered so well, and I was catching the singles, like Kevin and had a little battle on Sunday with Mike on the corners, but the straightaways, those guys were just they had the advantage. I don't know what to do, but the straightaways, these guys got it. My car corners so well. I don't know how or why it does it, but it's a great car, and it was a fun Saturday battling with Kevin. It took me a while to catch him, and I mean, I was driving over my head trying to catch him, and when you catch respectable guys like that, and you race against them, you know you're not gonna. When you get side by side with someone with open wheeled cars, man, it's nerve wracking. But Kevin, I mean, you got respectable guys like Kevin and Mike, and just it's not gonna end your day when you're going side by side with these guys, and I appreciate them both.
And it becomes a lot of fun. Mike, you and I battled out for quite some time a couple years ago, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a big mutual respect that a lot of the class holds for each other, because we know what these cars are capable of. We know generally what the drivers are capable of. And, we just want to go out and, like for me, I want to punch above my weight. I want to chase you guys down, but I'm not going to drive dirty to do it. I will race you hard, but, we've got to race each other clean. Is at the end of the day, you still want to have beers with everybody and enjoy each other's company after the race. I think that's one of the things I will say about the 1600 classes. We generally all get along with each other on and off the track pretty well.
Yeah. I would say it's super important to be friends with your competitors, with your class competitors, because when they come up on you or whatever, you're hoping for a clean pass and not have them drill you and things of that nature. I can tell you, it's, as much as I don't like racing against guys like Chad Cummins and Vic Bruckman, those guys they're some of my best friends, and I need them, because that's the only way I'm going to get any better is, having those guys in my class to run against. And so, like, you guys having each other to run against, it's important to have fast guys. It's only going to make you better.
Yep.
But then be able to have, celebrate with some, after the race and high five each other for, racing clean.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mike, let's talk about your Saturday. How did the race go for you?
Saturday was a clean day. The first couple laps, it was really me and Bud, and I think we were about even on the first lap. And the only challenge that I had, even on the second lap, because of how everybody started, we caught traffic. We were catching lap traffic by lap 2. So I got hung up a little bit on lap 2, and then, just kind of battling through that. And then, hit lap 3. Lap 3 was fairly clean. And then Bud had some, had some issues. I know with this caliper, and then ended up putting on its side. So then it was, at that time, I was getting some pretty good splits, you know, and I think we had 20 seconds, 20, you know, to 30 seconds or so. And then it was just kind of maintain lap 4 and 5, because I think really lap 3 was kind of where we really started to kind of turn it up a little bit. You know, and then Bud had some issues, so then it was, you know, able to kind of just maintain, but keep obviously a good pace, you know, to have a good car for Sunday was the biggest thing.
Now, I don't know about you guys. I mean, is there a sense of running a little conservative? I mean, just to keep an ace up the sleeve for Sunday? Not necessarily sandbagging, but you know, if you know you've got a couple seconds here and there that you can extract and you don't need to extract it. Is it something that factors in for you guys?
I think I'll just start off for me. You know, you're still going to want to win every day, right? So no matter what, you want to win Saturday. And for me, you just want to have a good enough cushion, you know, for Sunday, just in case something happens, because obviously, you know, anything can happen, take you out, whether you lose a belt, you know, whether it's something quick, right? If you have a flat, unfortunately,
brake caliper.
Yeah. Caliper, something.
Yeah.
So I think you're still driving hard, you know. I don't know that I'm ever really sandbagging. I think I'm always kind of pushing it to go, okay, I know what the car can do. So if you need to pick up some time here or there and you need to, you know, you can. I mean, that's usually my rule of thumb. But I don't know particularly if I would ever say I'm you know, sandbagging. I'm always just kind of trying to figure out where those limits are.
That to me, again, looking up to you guys as the guys I look up to, right? Like knowing that, you know, Mike, you know, Bud, Kurt, Fernie, the Boyer family, you know, Kevin's right there. You know, these guys who have been in the class for a long time, and Daniel, you know, Eric's brother Daniel, I guess Eric too, from time to time. But
Eric,
you know, it's almost it's actually very intimidating to know, like, hey, even if I roll up on these guys, they probably got more to give than what they're letting on. And it again, back to my original statement at the beginning of the episode, it's a testament to the level of competition, the caliber of competition in the class.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Fernie, what say you about that?
It's the caliber, man. I mean, when you show up to the start line and you're next to Mike and Bud and Kevin and you just know that you're gonna run hard as you can, but these guys aren't going to try and take you out. I mean, it's when you catch these guys, or when you're getting caught or catching your race side by side with these guys, they're open wheel cars, man. You can clip tires at any time, and it's the one clip, and these cars are going to just tumble.
We've seen it. We've all seen it. I mean, what was it? I want to say 7 or 8 years ago when Robbie Hendrickson and Corey got tied up, and they ended up on top of each other like that, you know. And it's not malicious. It's just a testament to how hard we race, and that you got that much room for error. And if something happens that you're not expecting, calamity happens.
It's open wheel racing. When they touch, it's never a positive thing.
Never fun. So let's chat about Sunday, and then I have some individual questions for each of you about your cars, because they're all probably 3 of the best cars in the class. So Sunday, Kevin, what was your race on Sunday like? Did you have any issues? Obviously, we know, again, battling with Boyer most of the day.
Yeah, Sunday, it was my favorite. I was faster than the Saturday. I start with Cody Boyer and Dylan Sanchez. In the first left tour, I got first. Then Dylan passed me. Then Cody passed me and passed Dylan. Then I passed Dylan, and finally I can pass Cody. So first lap was go. So it was very exciting. A clean race. At the 4th lap, I rear in my rear mirror, and it was Badwar. I battled a little bit with him, but in the same lap, at 4th lap, I see Goodyear with a rear tire flat.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was thinking, okay, right now, I am in 3rd place in general. So you just need to keep the car in the finish line. So I stopped running faster and more smarter.
Yeah.
It was a clean race, obviously more fast, and I like it very much.
Yeah, and I think that's a very smart move, knowing I'm in third. I have only a few laps left. If I'm smart, I'm on third place in my first battle at Primm. It's a really smart decision, I think. I think all these veterans here would agree that you did the right thing by playing it safe on those last few laps.
Yeah.
You know, Kevin, you were looking at the results. You beat Corey Boyer by 3 seconds that day. I want to talk about some close race, and after 4 laps, you had him by a second for the first 2 laps. The third lap, you were even, and the fourth lap, he beat you by 2 seconds. But in the end, you got him by 2 seconds or 3 seconds. He had it a little bit slower, but and only, you know, what's it, 20 seconds behind Fernie, you know, and just all right there. The top 5 that day, top 6 were just so close. Great racing.
It's pretty incredible when you think 3 seconds. That's one missed shift. One. That's it. Can be the difference of a position in these types of races. If you miss a shift and it takes you a couple seconds to recover, that could be it. That's pretty wild when you think about it like that. So obviously, you know, we've seen the videos between Mike and Fernie, your guys' battle on Sunday, one for the record books for sure. Let's hear the story.
Yeah, you tell it first, Fernie.
All right, I'll go first, Mike. You calm down. It was a fun time, man. I started next to Mike and Kurt. I mean, in my head, I mean, I don't snore. I appreciate you guys, but I thought we started 2 at a time on Sunday, because Saturday we started 2 at a time. But I thought Kurt, oh man, this is going to be a crazy start. And then we get to the first corner, and Mike, obviously, the faster dude, man. So he got me out, and I was just, I didn't think my car had it, and all of a sudden Mike took off, and I was like, I'm staying with him. Let's see what happens. And it was fun. My roof is dented, my bumper is fucked. It was a fun day, and I appreciate it all. And it was that was some of the most fun I've had in a while racing. With Mike, I mean, I think I got by him twice, but he got me back each time, and it was just it was fun. I know once I got by him, but I can't remember the second time. It was gone.
It was once.
All right, thanks, Mike.
I moved over to see if you could get it on the second one, but animal momentum.
Yeah, it was on that. It was lap traffic. I mean, it only held Mike up, and we hit. I've been racing for a while, and that's one thing that was the bummer about the whole thing was lap traffic was they were not watching their mirrors, and my bumper is messed up because of it. But I know Mike had to hit a few people, and I had to hit a few people. It's just we were passing 2 at a time, these cars, and they weren't moving out of the way, and it was fun though. It just Mike's the man.
It's one of those unfortunate lessons as a you know, somebody who's learning the class. You'll only learn once. Is at these short races, the competition up front comes fast, and they come a lot sooner than you expect. And
they come in pairs. You know, people don't realize that.
100%. There's when the first one goes, the 2, 3, 4, 5 are usually right behind him. And I'll be the one to admit it. In the Lone Kid car in 2010, it was Jason Coleman who reminded us very, very swiftly that lap traffic needed to get out of the way quickly. And again, a lesson you only learn once, but I think it's just part of the unfortunate. This is probably one of the downsides of the class is having, you know, close to 30 cars start. There's going to be some traffic.
Yeah, and I think starting 3 at a time on Sunday was a better choice. You know, because I caught lap traffic on lap 2, you know, on Saturday.
Yeah.
So starting on 3 at a time on Sunday was a better choice.
So Mike, tell us about Sunday, Mike. Obviously, we heard it from Fernie's point of view.
Yeah. So Sunday, you know, kind of like Fernie said, I was actually glad we started 3 at a time just because I knew lap traffic wouldn't be where it was at. And I started on the inside, which typically on that track is not where you want to start, right? You want to start kind of the middle of the outside. And starting with Kurt here, who's another, you know, friend of mine. you know, kind of all-star short course guy, right? So, and knowing Fernie's just gonna blitz it, I just wanted to make sure being on the inside, I didn't clip a wheel with anybody, you know, and luckily, I feel like we made some good improvements on the car before this race. So there was some good, you know, kind of corner to corner speed with it, you know, and thankfully was able to kind of take advantage of some of that, you know, to get out of there. But just like I talked about where it was, you know, watered down quite a bit, being the first car on the road, there was a couple times where I slid, you know, a little further than I wanted to ultimately slide, which made it extremely exciting. And clearly Fernie was right behind me, right? And I don't know if you know how many folks know this, right? But Fernie, Fernie and I are pretty good friends, right? I'd say really good friends. We've known each other for a long time.
Best friends.
What's that?
Best friends.
Best friends. So you know, I just started racing, you know, 1600s again a few years ago. I took, I don't know, well over a decade, right? Almost.
Mike, I remember the old Lothringer.
Yeah, so I don't know that I've ever really raced against Fernie. You know, we've known each other for a long time, and I think I've tested more cars with him, and he's rode with me testing, you know, over the years a long time, and to be able to race with them is a lot of fun. You know, so if there's anybody that I'm rooting for, I know we're on this call and everybody's got a lot of respect for anybody, but Fernie's one of those guys that if I'm rooting for and you're literally in the helmet, smiling, talking, you know, kind of racing around the track. We did a little bit of that at Laughlin too. You know, it'd be Fernie. So I think I enjoyed it on a different level because it was nice to race against my friend or someone that, you know, I've known for not only a long time, but never really got to race against because I was kind of out of 1600, you know, in a sense when I feel like he started to take over, right, and started to win a lot. So that was fun. So you know, he stuck on my rear view mirror, and after the first lap, we were coming around, I think it was right around the hot pits, and they had that right-hand turn before you kind of went up against the condos before the dike jump. He took an awesome line, and I was kind of going through there a little bit careful because it was pretty wet. And he got around me on the inside, and then we had a pretty good drag race going on the dike jump, and I felt like I was touching his bumper when we were going off the dike jump. And then, you know, he kind of gave me the line on the left, and I had a good run and got around him, and then we were just attached, you know, to each other, I think really the rest of the time. And, you know, I pulled a little bit, he gained a little bit, and my goal was just try to stay ahead of him, you know, but not do anything silly, keep hitting my marks, right? And he was obviously having a good run, and I knew that. And there was a couple of times where I thought, hey, if he was close enough, I was going to give him some room to see if he could get it. And it just didn't work out that way. He had a couple of good runs, but I think on those times I had a little bit of better run, and it was kind of a good cat and mouse to where none of us acted stupid. We didn't stop, you know, use each other to stop in the turns when we could have, right? We could have cleaned each other out, you know, a couple of times if we really wanted to, right? And you know, obviously there was none of that, but it was just nothing but clean racing, and I was happy to see him obviously doing as good as he was doing, but doing a good job trying to keep him behind me at the same time.
Fernie, I want you to do good, but not that good, all right?
Yeah. Oh, and it's funny because, you know, when we were talking about splitting some lap traffic, you know, because you obviously, you know, those guys, you hope they know that you're there, but sometimes they don't, right? And I think Fernie was thinking the same thing that I had. There was probably only one time I had a pretty good gap, you know, on him, and probably the most I ever had, which who knows if that was 100 yards, you know, or if, and I caught a car and there was nowhere for me to go. So I had to check up, and he got kind of right on me, and then we were bumper to bumper going all the way down the straightaway, which was pretty cool. And we probably split, I don't know, 3 or 4 cars, just split them together, you know, to come in. So I mean, it was fun and intense at the same time, you know, which trying to manage a good day on Saturday and not doing anything silly, right? And you know, not do anything dumb for his day, and you know, keep everything really clean, but you know, more importantly, have some good fun and maintain the lead that we had on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a spectator at home, getting the footage, it was arguably some of the best racing you've seen in the class. You love to see it that close as a participant, as a spectator. You know, I had my buddies in the pits blowing me up, going, "You would not believe the race that's happening right now." So it's good to see, and it's good to see, you know, that it's not just single seaters, it's not just 2-seaters dominating. there is an eclectic mix, so that's it. The class is very balanced right now, and that's what you want as a racer. You want the class to be relatively balanced. There's areas where the single seaters are going to excel. There's areas where the two seaters are going to excel. So yeah, it's go ahead.
Well, now you said, Kevin, you've got a high comp motor, right? Yeah. So now we've got the high comp, mixing it up, dicing it out with the low comps in a single seat, two seat. I mean, across the board, it sounds like all these cars have been real well paired up.
There's competitive packages to be found. I think you just gotta, I know in Bud's December interview, Bud touched on the fact of, there's things you got to do to extract performance. You just have to take the time to figure that out, and it seems like a lot of people are taking that time and, dedicating, you can't just show up with a car and go out and win anymore. I don't think it works like that in this class. You've got to be at the top. So, I mean, let's just jump on that. Who's taking care of everybody's prep? If you want to shout out your motor guy, your transmission guy, feel free. Let's talk about your cars.
Kevin, you have a Lumicraft?
Yeah, it's a Lumicraft. My prep guy and my pit boss is Juan Mayoral from Mexicali. I have a Highcom Edge Competitive and a Transat. It's Eric Transworks. It's a good package.
Yeah, absolutely. Fernie. Now, Fernie, is that the same Lothringer that Byron Ziegler used to race?
Yeah, yes, sir. This car was built in 2008. My brother's he's been prepping my car for about 3 years now. I used to prep my own car, but my brother's just it's stressful for me. It just pisses me off when I prep. And my brother's.
I think Danny might be. You talk about the top prep guys in the class. He's got to be in the top 2, top 3 conversation.
Yes, he's killing it, and I mean when he took over my car, he was like, "Man, these bars are all messed up." So he cut so much tubing out of my car. We lightened it up as much as we could. We changed the front bumper, got some new body panels, and I think it's as light as I could get it. And it's the guy does amazing preps. I mean, I used to prep my own car. I know Mike used to prep his own cars too, but it's once you get someone else doing it and you trust them, you show up to the start line with that confidence. And I mean, when I prep my own cars, I was always second guessing myself. I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I got that shock tight. I don't know if the shock pressure is good. My brother took care of it, and I show up with confidence now.
Yeah.
And it's been a killer game. Adam Wick's got my motors. I got Jesus Christ, what's his name? Bolt's doing my trainings and it's just it's been a good setup, man. I got a good package going on now, and I'm very happy and confident. And I think Tucker's going to go with me to Rage of the River, and we'll see if I can finally catch that Mike Malloy guy.
Mike, go for it, bud. Let's talk about that. It's a Fraley, right?
It is a Fraley, yeah. So single seat Fraley, Bruce Fraley's, preps it. He built it. This car has a pretty cool history. It was actually originally built for another one of my really good friends, Arden Dennington. So I actually used to race this car long time ago before I bought it back. But yeah, Bruce Fraley preps it. Does a phenomenal job. I think his reputation precedes him, right? Everybody really knows. I think when you talk about 1600s, Fraley's in every single conversation, some of that you talk about, right? So, does a phenomenal job, really, off the track, on the track, full race support. He's there at all the races that I'm at, which is good for me. It was nice, especially getting back into the 1600s, right? It shored up some stuff working with Bruce because he's really never left the 1600 vein, but done a ton of stuff. So I think that really helped me, get up to speed, a little quicker at the same time. Not to mention, speaking of speed, I got a competitive edge motor. Jared Weddle, who we've done a lot of work together really over the past 1.5 to 2 years. I think we're really getting to the point to where we're happy with not only the product that he's putting out, but I'm happy with the way it works inside the car. We continue to make improvements, I would say, and tweaks. And I do have a high comp motor too. I did run the low comp, at this race, but I'm a huge fan of the high comp competitive package too. And so I can't say enough good things about him, right? From just a development standpoint, and just continually trying to develop the product and the program. And I think it shows, right, to where I felt like we made some good gains, this race. And it's kind of fun to take a car that was built a while ago, and try to make it not only competitive, but in my opinion, cutting edge, at the same time. So I think with all these guys on board, that helps me, right? With Bruce and Jared, with the motor package. I got, DC Shocks does all my shocks. So Kurt Young's, and then Shock Seals, ultimately does all the shock seals and works with Kurt on that. And then I have Dave Folt's transmission as well, and work with Danny, who's been great, along with Ron at Weddle. So I do a few things with Ron at Weddle with my transmission. So I'm fortunate. I got, in my opinion, the best in the business, really standing behind me. And at the end of the day, it's me, having to do my part, right? Because there's definitely one thing I think that all those guys are going to do their part. So I just got to continue to work hard to make sure, that I'm holding up my end of the deal.
Absolutely. Cool.
Well,
Eric, did you have anything else you wanted to touch on?
Well, no, I just I wanted to thank you guys for coming on. John, how did your race go on the SNORE side of it for the 1600s? Other than a couple of hiccups, how did it go for you?
I think fantastic. Like I say, we had 27 entries, which, that's good, not great, but I think a part of that is attributed to the challenges we had with the hotel, not being able to get rooms for people. And we're going to try again next year and see if they want to come to the table and work like good business people should. But we attracted the top guys and the top racers out there, and I think that stands for itself that we got good competition. We didn't lack for that, and I feel like there was a couple of little moments where there was some challenges with the timing, and that's how I know Bruce is back in the game, because he's calling me in honor of Mike. He's like, I got this. I go, hey, we're on it, man. And every question about timing results that was brought to us, which was very few this time, were valid, and they were all addressed. And I think everybody got, hopefully we're pleased with the results at the end. And like I told Eric and Brian earlier, to you guys, Fernie and Mike and Kevin, we've got some big announcements coming. We're working on some stuff with timing we're going to be cutting edge here real soon, and making this great, even better than we thought we could go with it. But I'm super excited about where things are going. We're doing some R&D work with our timing, and it's going to be epic here pretty soon. Excellent. Super excited about that.
Cool.
Well, guys, again, I just want to say thank you for coming on here and joining us. At this time, anybody that you want to thank outside your prep guys and everything? Kevin, who you have any sponsors you want to thank?
All the guys on my team, my dad, my mom, my brother, that are always supporting me. That's it. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Fernie.
I gotta thank my prep guy, obviously my brother. He takes care of a lot of stuff for me. Adam Wick has been killing it. My wife for letting me do this, because it's definitely not cheap and it's time consuming. My kids being super supportive of me as well. And that's about it, man. The other racers, man. And I appreciate you guys doing this. I hope this class blows up because of you guys.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Thank you, Fernie.
Yeah. Mike.
Yeah, I'll start off by saying, hey, thanks for you guys, right, for putting this together, and I think the content you guys are putting out, I think if anything, people want more, right, which means you're always doing a good job, at the same time. So, nice job for you guys. It's fun for me to get back into this class, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and it is so much fun, not only for the competition, but really for stuff like this, and I think what you guys are doing is fantastic. Not to mention, I really, really like your hat, Eric.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you guys are doing a fantastic job. So thank you for all the hard work. It's not easy to put this stuff together. So you guys are crushing it.
I appreciate that.
I want to start off by thanking my wife, Bernadette. My daughter Della. My wife is she's just so supportive. And she's having just a lot of fun, and it's nice. My daughter, being the age she is starting to really understand what it's like going camping into the races, and absolutely just loves it. And my dad, you know, for getting me into the sport, he's not with us anymore, but the reason why I do this is really because of him. And I really say the reason why I'm back in 1600 is because of him as well. And my mom's a big part of that as well. So, you know, just my overall family, you know, is so supportive. And then back to just the guys who really helped me out day in and day out, you know, at this race, you know, Bruce, Jared, Skyler was a huge player, you know, especially this past weekend, but has been, you know, just involved with me, you know, for over 20 years, you know, in this deal. My buddy Arden, a couple other friends came this last race, Donald, Dustin, just have just a good core of people that love to come out to the races. And I think it's, a lot of it is races like this, right? To where people can spectate, and come to that grassroots races. And it's not hard to get people to want to come to races, you know, to where in some races I've been, it's a little more difficult. And when you say you're going 1600 racing and you're going to Primm, you're going to Laughlin, people are in. So just thank everybody for making it happen.
Yeah, excellent. All right, guys. Well, we'll end that here. It's a good place to stop. I want to thank all our guests for joining on. Kevin, Fernie, Mike. Thank you, John, for joining us. I appreciate it. Brian, as always, guys, don't forget to leave a comment, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, share this with your friends. Let us know how we're doing. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good Sunday.
Yeah.
Well.